For centuries, ancient mystery schools guarded a secret about time so profound it could reshape how you live, think, and create. What if time isn't the rigid linear sequence we imagine it to be? What if everything you believe about time is actually a form of self-imposed imprisonment? Today, we're going to explore something far deeper than time management tips or productivity hacks. We're diving into ancient mystery school teachings that were once punishable by death to reveal, and we'll explore 5 key insights drawn from ancient initiations, modern-day science, and the real-life practices of geniuses like Nikola Tesla and Leonardo da Vinci. These insights will help you see time through a different lens, one that is less about limitation and more about expansive potential. Whether you're dealing with the pressures of modern work life, balancing family responsibilities, or seeking a deeper spiritual understanding, these principles and practices can be applied immediately to break free from what I call the prison of time. Let's take the first step on this journey. Have you ever felt like there was a deeper reality beneath the surface of daily life? A hidden realm that our mundane routines barely scratch? Many mythologies, legends, and secret initiations have tried to point us toward that deeper reality. One striking example is found in ancient Greece, specifically in the Eleusinian Mysteries. Deep beneath the ancient temple of Eleusis, initiates learn to step beyond time itself. As flickering torchlight danced on temple walls, they witnessed Persephone's descent into the underworld, not as a story, but as a map of consciousness. This wasn't mere mythology, it was a sophisticated technology for transcending the illusion of linear time. For over 2,000 years, these mysteries drew the greatest minds of the ancient world. Plato, Aristotle, Cicero, all journeyed to this sacred site seeking liberation from time's prison. What they discovered there was so profound that, speaking of it, meant death. Yet through careful study of their writings and modern archaeological discoveries, we can piece together their revolutionary understanding of time's true nature. The initiates spoke of 3 distinct dimensions of time, each representing a different level of consciousness. First was Chronos, what we know today as linear time, the ticking clock, the rushing minutes, the endless parade of deadlines and appointments. This, they taught, was the shallowest level of time, a useful tool for coordinating earthly life, but a terrible master. Beyond Chronos lay Kairos, sacred time, where everything aligns in perfect synchronicity. You've experienced glimpses of this state, those moments when time seems to stop, when everything flows effortlessly, when you know exactly what to do without thinking. Athletes call it the zone. Artists call it flow. The Greeks understood it as a gateway to higher consciousness. But the deepest mystery revealed at Eleusis was Ion, eternal time, the timeless realm of pure potential. Here, past, present, and future exist simultaneously, like different rooms in an infinite mansion. This wasn't just philosophy. The initiates developed specific practices for accessing this state at will. When you learn to enter Ion consciousness, manifestation becomes instantaneous, because you're operating outside the limitations of linear causality. Think of these 3 levels like states of water. Chronos is ice, solid, rigid, confining. Kairos is liquid, flowing, adaptive, natural. Ion is vapor, unbounded, free, able to move in any direction. Just as water can shift between these states, you too can learn to navigate different dimensions of time. The ancient priestesses of Eleusis taught that suffering comes from being frozen in Chronos consciousness, while our soul yearns for the freedom of Ion. Their secret ceremonies, performed in torchlit caves beneath the temple, were designed to systematically melt the frozen perception of time, allowing initiates to flow between these different states at will. As we explore their practices, remember, this isn't about escaping time completely. It's about gaining the freedom to move between different time dimensions as needed. Like those ancient initiates, you'll learn to use Chronos without being imprisoned by it. to recognize and flow with kairos moments, and to access the infinite potential of ion consciousness. Recognizing these three modes can shift your perception from a narrative of scarcity, there's never enough time, to one of spacious possibility. Suddenly, you see that life is not solely dictated by the mechanical progression of minutes. There is a quality-based dimension, kairos, and an eternal dimension, ion, waiting to be explored. When you tune into these layers of time, you tap into a sense of timeless potential that can revolutionize how you schedule your days, tackle your goals, and approach your relationships. But if these concepts are so powerful and liberating, why aren't they mainstream? What happened to them? The answer lies in social and technological shifts that transformed humanity's relationship with time, and not always for the better. Thousands of years ago, our ancestors lived by the rhythms of sun and moon, the turning of seasons, the natural cycles of energy and rest. Families rose with the sun, ate when they felt hungry, and slept not at a designated time, but when darkness fell. But with the invention of mechanical clocks in medieval monasteries, something profound shifted in human consciousness. Time was no longer a flowing river. It became a series of identical mechanical ticks. The Industrial Revolution completed our imprisonment as factory whistles replaced roosters, and time is money became humanity's new gospel. Now take out your phone for a moment. Look at all those notifications, each one a tiny anchor dragging you back into linear time's prison. The calendar alerts, the deadlines, the constant digital reminders that you're running out of time. This prison wasn't built in a day. It was constructed slowly, invisibly, until we became so accustomed to its walls that we forgot we were even confined. The result? An always-on culture that fosters chronic stress and perpetual worry about whether we're doing enough. This isn't just philosophy. The effects of linear time consciousness are devastatingly real. Anxiety disorders have skyrocketed since 1990. Depression rates have doubled in the same period. 7 out of 10 people report feeling time stress on a daily basis. We're quite literally being crushed by our perception of time as a limited, linear resource that's constantly slipping away. Think about how this prison shapes your daily experience. You wake up already feeling behind, racing through your morning routine. You're simultaneously worried about yesterday's unfinished tasks and tomorrow's looming deadlines. Even your free time is scheduled, optimized, turned into another form of productivity. Your body desperately wants to rest. Your soul wants space to connect to its source. But the ticking clock says there isn't time. The most insidious aspect of this prison is how it shapes your view of life itself. In linear time consciousness, everything becomes a means to an end. Monday exists only to get to Friday. This month matters only as preparation for next month. You're constantly living in an imagined future, always chasing, never arriving. But here's what the mystery schools understood. This prison, though seemingly solid, is built entirely of thought. Its walls are made of beliefs, its bars forged from artificial concepts. And what's constructed by thought can be deconstructed by thought. Just as water can crack concrete when it freezes and thaws, your consciousness can break free from linear time through cycles of expansion and release. Let's fast forward to the early 20th century, a period of revolutionary developments in our understanding of space and time. Albert Einstein introduced his theory of relativity, revealing that time doesn't flow at the same rate for everyone, everywhere. Instead, time speeds up or slows down, depending on your velocity or proximity to massive objects. For most of us on Earth, these variations are minuscule. We don't notice them in everyday life. Yet they are significant enough that our modern technology must account for them. For instance, GPS satellites orbiting Earth experience time slightly differently than we do on the planet's surface. If the satellite's clocks weren't regularly adjusted, your GPS navigation could be off by miles in a single day. That's how tangible the impact of relativity is on our day-to-day life. This discovery, that time is relative, was nothing short of a paradigm shift in physics, impacting how we view causality, movement, and even the nature of existence. What does this have to do with you and your daily grind? Quite a bit, actually. If time is malleable on a cosmic scale, it also implies that our subjective experiences of time can vary tremendously. You've likely felt this when you've been deeply absorbed in a creative project or while enjoying a captivating book or movie. The hours seem to fly by. Conversely, if you're stuck in a long, tedious queue, the minutes can crawl at a painfully slow pace. This shows that time can expand or contract in our perception based on context, engagement, and emotional state. In other words, by embracing time's inherent flexibility, you can start to question the inevitability of your own feelings of time scarcity and rush. You can begin to see that your relationship with time is at least partly a mental construct, and one that can be reconfigured for greater peace and creativity. But how exactly do we apply these insights so that they don't remain abstract theories? That's where ancient practices and modern tips come into play. Before we dive further, let's quickly summarize the 3 big shifts we'll cover next to help you change your relationship with time. First, sacred practices for time freedom, revealed through the insight of Nikola Tesla. This will help you move from frantic scheduling to a sense of effortless flow. Second, living between worlds, revealed through the insight of Leonardo da Vinci. This will help you merge daily responsibilities with a state of creative openness. Lastly, slowing time through novelty, which will allow you to change the perception of time for you and those close to you. Let's begin with sacred practices for time freedom, starting with the story of Nikola Tesla, one of the greatest inventors of the modern era. Tesla once said that his greatest breakthroughs came when he learned to detach his mind from the tyranny of time. Working in his laboratory, he discovered what the ancient Greeks had known, that consciousness can step outside linear time's boundaries. Nikola Tesla was known for his extraordinary work habits and bursts of creativity. He often worked in highly focused periods, followed by moments of rest and contemplation, allowing his mind to wander and innovate. This balance between intense productivity and reflective downtime contributed to his groundbreaking inventions. Let's explore 2 sacred practices that blend Tesla's insights with ancient wisdom, creating a practical path to time freedom. The first practice, Temple of Timelessness. There are some who say Tesla would begin challenging days by visualizing himself stepping into a sphere of energy, detaching from mechanical time. We can adapt this using the ancient Greek temple visualization. Find a quiet moment, preferably at dawn or dusk, when the veils between time dimensions are naturally thinner. Close your eyes and imagine standing before massive temple doors. These aren't just any doors. They're the gates between linear and sacred time. As you push them open, feel yourself stepping out of chronological time. The air shifts, colors become more vivid. Time's pressure lifts from your shoulders. This is your sanctuary beyond time, a space where creativity, healing, and manifestation flow naturally. Take 3 deep breaths here, each one dissolving another layer of time's illusion. With each exhale, let go of deadlines, schedules, and temporal anxiety. This isn't about escaping responsibility. It's about accessing a deeper dimension of being, from which all true productivity flows. The second practice, quantum time threading. Tesla understood that time isn't a single line, but a web of possibilities. He would mentally travel these threads, accessing different timelines to solve complex problems. Here's how to begin this practice. Choose a current challenge or project. Close your eyes and imagine it as a thread of light extending from this moment. Now, instead of pushing forcefully toward your goal, allow your awareness to expand outward, sensing other possible threads. Some may show faster paths, others more elegant solutions. This isn't daydreaming, it's conscious navigation of time's quantum nature. Feel which thread resonates most strongly. This is Kairos, divine timing, showing you the natural path forward. When you open your eyes, you'll often find synchronicities and opportunities aligning with this chosen thread. Remember, the goal isn't to abandon linear time completely. Like Tesla, you're learning to move fluently between different time dimensions, using each appropriately. Some tasks require chronos precision. Others flourish in kairos flow. True mastery is knowing the difference and having the freedom to choose. As you practice, you'll notice something remarkable. The more time you spend in sacred time consciousness, the more efficiently linear time seems to organize itself. It's a paradox the ancient Greeks understood well. Step outside time's prison, and time becomes your ally rather than your jailer. How do you balance this newfound timelessness with the demands of everyday life? One person who mastered walking between worlds was Leonardo da Vinci. Ever wonder how he juggled countless inventions, paintings, and architectural feats, all without succumbing to burnout? Da Vinci worked on multiple projects simultaneously, guided by bursts of inspiration. His notebooks reveal a man who didn't see time as a rigid schedule, but as a fluid resource for exploration and creativity. From Da Vinci's example, we can distill several modern applications. Schedule timeless zones. Try designating certain hours or even entire days, if possible, where you're free from external obligations. During these intervals, let your curiosity guide you. These blocks of time can recharge your mental batteries and spark your best ideas. Practice sacred procrastination. The term procrastination usually has a negative connotation, but there's a form of procrastination that respects deeper currents of inspiration. If you're forcing yourself to do something and no progress is being made, it might be more effective to switch activities or take a break. Wait for that kairos moment, the organic alignment when inspiration flows effortlessly, rather than trying to hammer creativity out of a resistant mind. Use natural transitions. Look to nature's daily markers, sunrise, midday, sunset, to guide your shifts in activity. Dawn could be your time for journaling or planning the day, midday for intense tasks, and dusk for winding down. Aligning parts of your schedule with natural cycles can reduce stress and make your routines feel more grounded. By following these steps, you keep one foot in the real world of schedules and responsibilities, while the other ventures into a realm of creative possibility. It's this balance, this interplay between Chronos and Ion, that can help you lead a more fulfilled and innovative life. Now, let's explore the third major shift, cultivating novelty to slow down time. Have you ever noticed that when you're traveling, learning a new skill, or undertaking some brand new adventure, the days feel longer, yet more vibrant? That's because the human brain logs novel information more intensely, creating richer memories and a subjective sense that time is slowing down. Why does this happen? When you do something familiar, like your standard daily commute, your brain doesn't need to work hard. It's on autopilot, compressing repeated information and leaving you with a blur of sameness. Novelty, on the other hand, forces your brain to pay close attention. This heightened engagement stretches your subjective timeline, making hours feel more abundant and memorable. Practical steps to harness novelty. Seek micro-adventures. You don't need to travel overseas. Take a different route to work. Try a new recipe. Learn a musical instrument. Or explore a local park you've never visited. Small changes in routine break the monotony and prompt heightened awareness. Reserve novelty slots. Like scheduling timeless zones, dedicate time each week to doing something you've never done before. Attend a cultural event, watch a documentary on an unfamiliar topic, or try a new workout. By sprinkling your routine with micro-adventures, you ensure your days don't blur into an indistinguishable routine. Combine novelty with mindfulness. When trying something new, remain fully present. Tune into the details, sights, sounds, smells, and textures. This mindfulness amplifies the brain's encoding process, effectively slowing your perception of time. Incorporating novelty doesn't just keep life exciting, it also recalibrates your sense of how quickly time passes. Over the course of weeks and months, these small changes can accumulate, leaving you with a life that feels richer, less hurried, and imbued with a sense of wonder. As we close our exploration of time's deeper dimensions, remember, the prison of linear time exists only in our minds. Just as the ancient initiates of Eleusis, the brilliant Tesla, and the masterful Da Vinci discovered, you too can learn to move freely between chronos, kairos, and ion consciousness. Start with just one practice, perhaps the Temple of Timelessness visualization or Tesla's natural rhythm restoration. Notice how even small shifts in your perception of time can create profound changes in your experience of life. As you become more fluid in navigating different time dimensions, you'll find yourself naturally aligning with divine timing, accessing deeper creativity, and experiencing the peace that comes from true time freedom. Remember, this isn't about escaping your responsibilities or denying linear time completely. It's about gaining the wisdom to know when to use chronos precision, when to flow with kairos moments, and when to access the infinite potential of ion consciousness. With practice, you'll discover what the mystery schools always knew, that time isn't your prison, but your portal to expanded possibility. Thank you for sharing this sacred space with us today on your path to a better life.